Hello, and welcome to my virtual gallery. This is it. That's my latest project, by the way. Let's start from this one. It's called Would You? And it's a collaboration between me and Polly. And that there you see is Lucy, another person I often collaborate with. And it started as a performance and an installation, and then it became a video. I did it at the IAF, and here you can see I also did a piece on Italian hormones. Anyway, sorry, this is me. It's about me, Elisabetta. This is my virtual gallery.
And so, good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
I must say it has been fun collaborating with you on a few of these projects.
Thank you. This is Lucy, by the way, the one talking, and she's here.
That's me on the right, in the box.
Yes, this was a piece of, it's an illusion costume we did for a fetish festival. As you can see, I am very much into puppets, 3D physical objects, and giving them life. Here I'm trying to put some legs onto a puppet, as you can see, and my art is quite performative.
And what is it about performance that attracts you?
Well, this, by the way, is an amazing piece. The fact that when you perform, you put yourself, first of all, you're having a conversation, you're opening up, you're not closing down, because you are interacting with someone. You're interacting with the stage, you're interacting with the audience. And also it's because it transforms me. It takes me into another place, and it can be very surreal. It makes it more accessible. It puts me on the same level as the audience. For me, performing is that, and because it's live, so you're either there and you get it, or you're not.
And why do you want to be on the same level as the audience?
Because I think art is for everyone, and I'm really fed up with all this eyebrowed art, and the fact that you can only understand art if you've done some art, or if you've read about art, or if you know about artists. That is not true, and that is not what art is about. Art is about having conversations. Art is about a visual communication, a visual sign of let's talk about something.
Let's talk about this piece. What is this piece?
This is it's not a finished one. It's a piece for the RAF, the Royal Air Force Museum. I'm very punk and very kind of how would you say anarchic in some ways, but I wanted to make this piece for the RAF exactly because of that. I wanted to make a piece that said, look, cardboard and a red string can give you the whole idea of suffering and purity, and it can have the same strength as something like an amazing painting by a very well-established painter. The poor art, poor materials doesn't mean... Actually, poor materials doesn't mean poor art. Poor materials means accessible art. Means art that anyone can do. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have studied. You don't have to. You can, but you don't have to.
And why did you make the floor of your gallery orange?
I just like orange. I mean, it's about why would you make something realistic when you have all these options to go create different worlds? You know, when I started
Does orange mean something to you? The colour?
Yes, it means happiness and it means energy. and it's an in between. It's in between red and yellow for me. It's neither red nor yellow, and it's both.
How did you make this piece?
This is just a 3D study of color lights, because I want to create worlds with simple objects. I want to create worlds and I want to create stories, and that's what puppets do. They're very simple objects, and this is exactly the same. It's a very simple 3D world, it's a table with a window, but the colors, the lights, and the presentation makes it different. And if you can imagine adding sound and movement to that, then you see how different they look.
What is different about this one from the other one?
It's the mood. It's a completely different mood, but it's exactly the same piece. Look at these. I mean, this is a bench, but if you give it a certain color, if you give it a certain graffiti you put on it, it becomes a dungeon bench, not just a bench. And it doesn't matter if it really is a bench or not. What matters is what I want to communicate with you about. And it's all very surreal because I don't think there's any point in recreating what we already have. It's much more interesting for me to create something new or to explore.
What is this piece?
This is another collaboration that I did with Lucy Childs.
That's me.
Yes, that's you. She's doing a PhD on digital puppetry and the improvisation element of it, and I was puppeteering with my feet. You can see my feet. I was digitally puppeteering with my feet and with my hands, part of that digital puppet. And then there is a second part of the piece, which is a performative part, as usual, as I can't wait but get naked and in front of people. This is me. This is my bum and a digital puppet projected onto my bum. And as for most of my things, there's always this kind of theme of who is controlling and who is controlled. Really, why do we have our power trips when actually we don't really know? We lose the thread of who is controlling who most of the times. Like I love game engines, and I've started learning to code and putting things in game engines because there you really understand the difference, the power trips that we have, the control trips that we have, because in a game engine you can be in control, but actually the game is controlling you as well. This is a good game I did, and I've got more and more into this 3D digital, very simple graphics. Like this is a music video I'm doing.
And what was the brief for the music video, or was there any kind of brief?
Well, there wasn't really a brief because it's not a commercial thing that I'm doing. It's a piece of art that I'm doing. But when Gary asked me to do it, he said, I've got this tune which is called Parallel Lines. Listen to it. I listened to it and I just said, oh, it would be great to do a very abstract, conceptual kind of Parallel Lines 3D digital video of it. And he said, yeah, do it. And that's what I did. That's it.
So would you say it's a question of taking it literally, or is there something more to the concept of parallel lines?
Oh no, in a certain, so I took it literally in the sense that executionally I took the element of the parallel lines as an executional element and I put parallel lines in. But it's, of course, it's a metaphor, and therefore that's why we never get anywhere in this video, because it's all about going into these kind of parallel things, parallel worlds, and never getting really anywhere, but enjoying the journey. Because look, it's an amazing journey, this one. I mean, I would love to keep on doing that journey. But yes, I am.
And what was the game before?
The other game, the one I
Yes.
was showing you. This is Bulbit Foss. It's Fallen. It's a project I did when I did my H&D in computer gaming and animation. And again, it's what I wanted to do was just to create different layers, the same level, but with different colors and different sound effects and different visual effects triggered differently. And that's what this game does. So depending on triggers, it changes the mood. And everything that is loaded in here or in any of my things, I never have any problem with copyright because everything I do is mine. It's literally mine. Even the pictures that I put on my cubes or stuff are mine. Even the sound effects are mine. I create them. But I wanted to show you also some 2D stuff. I mean, there's always this element of 3D in my stuff because even the 2D, I can't bear just drawing. I have to do it in etching style, or I have to do it in dry point. And this is what I've done here. Or screen printing is another thing I really love. And these are basically life lessons. It's a series. This is life lesson number 3. There's always someone who's gonna at you in life. This is I'll show you the better visual of life lesson number 10. There you go. It's when you get really, really old and horrible and grumpy, and insects start growing in your head, in your beard. This is the best of life lessons. Life lesson number 4. You always find someone ready to pay for your shit, as long as you look for it. You can't just wait for someone to pay for your shit. And this is life lesson number 1. That, by the way, is a clapping for the Buraku show, the video that I'm going to show you in a second. This is life lesson number 1. There's always a bullied, and there's always a bully. And that's pretty much it. Now let's see if I can show you that beautiful video. Yeah, that's the pose, isn't it? But you see, even here it's a very simple graphic. Very, very simple graphic. It was just this lovely Buraku puppet with a face mask that doesn't say anything, not even the sex. White with a UV light underneath, and that was it. I really, really, really like to do things with very little. You can see even my virtual gallery is very, very basic. But it's suggestive, isn't it? This is shadow puppets. They suggest, they're so suggestive of things, even if you don't really look at this. I love this kind of things. It's made with cardboard and scissors. Anyone can do it. Anyone. And they're beautiful. Look, this bit is amazing. This is a 3-headed dog that Lucy actually did, I think. Oops, I've lost mine. Yes, I lost my space. So fancy. Where is it? Where is my 3D? There you go. Yes.
And is that everything?
No, there's loads more, but I've just
So,
and I wanted to show you also my head, my 3D digital head that I'm deconstructing now. Let me see if I can show you. So there should be. First, is it here? Yes, here it is. Is it playing? The video is not playing. This is my 3D head scan. I have to sort it out. Something's going on. But yes, I'm deconstructing my head, so I'm digitally puppeteering myself in real time and basically opening my head. This is an amazing piece of poster that I did with Lucifer and Pozzolani. You see, even when I make posters, I have to have this 3D stuff. We took a picture, and then we cut out the paper like punk style, like zine styles, and then we glued them on top of another piece of paper, and then we took the picture. Yeah,
So overall, what would you say, moving forward, what are your interests to go to next, taking what you've got from all of this? What direction do you see yourself moving in next?
I want to focus even more on the performative, participatory, digital, live aspect. So ideally, what I'm imagining is like a piece like this. This piece physically has a cockpit underneath with joysticks so that people can move the shadow puppets. So this, but both in 3D, physical and digital, so that people that see my stuff can participate to that. So imagine that with joysticks all over, a 3D version of this with joysticks all over, where people can start playing with things and playing with me. Imagine me being in a, I don't know, in a gallery, for example, with with my game, and inviting people to interact with me on the emotions and on the different moods, so people can actually change the lights, can have a conversation with me, and it's all live, it's in the moment. It's not about, it's never finished. It's experimental in that sense as well. It's never finished because it's always growing, because it's a conversation, so it keeps on going. And it's the same reason why I do not understand buying art and putting it on a wall, because that it should be accessible to the artist to be changed anytime, because art is continuous. So if I make a painting, I should be able to then change that painting or go and work on it again.
But quite a lot of buyers or investors, they do have a conversation with the artist because they collect and they like to see what the artist is going to do next.
That's great, but then
It's the idea of having a patron.
well, that is a very, very difficult human condition, though, isn't it? Because once you have a patron, it's like having a sugar daddy, isn't it?
Yes.
It's lovely to have a sugar daddy, but you need to give sugar to that daddy.
Thank you very much for the conversation, for taking
Thank
me
you.
around your gallery.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me just finish on a picture of mine, because I'm slightly... how do you say when someone is always about him?
Egotistical.
I'm slightly...
Narcissistic.
Narcissistic. I'm narcissistic, but I'm fucking beautiful. Okay, bye!